The sky over Earth looked the same as it always had, calm and blue. Birds flew across the horizon. Cities buzzed with the usual noise of traffic and life. But beneath this ordinary world, something extraordinary and terrifying was happening. In orbit above Earth, the first signs appeared. Satellites stopped responding. Space stations that normally transmitted a constant stream of data fell silent. The International Space Observation Network tried to re-establish contact, but every attempt failed. On the surface, the world's scientists and engineers stared at screens that showed only static. Earth, the planet that had once been a thriving member of galactic civilization, was suddenly cut off. Not a single signal passed beyond the planet. Ships waiting at docking bays for interstellar travel remained grounded. Messages to alien embassies went unanswered. Humanity had become an island in a silent ocean. Panic spread quickly. Governments called emergency meetings. Citizens crowded public squares and media outlets, demanding answers. Yet, no one had any. Dr. Amina Rahal, a leading physicist at the Global Space Research Institute in Geneva, stared at her monitors in disbelief. "It's impossible," she whispered to herself. "The energy readings are strange. Nothing like this has ever been recorded." Her colleague, Dr. Hiro Tanaka, leaned closer. "It's not just interference. The galaxy, it's like we've been blocked." Amina shivered. "Blocked? By whom?" "That's the problem," Hiro said quietly. "We don't know. And if someone powerful enough to do this exists, we can't communicate. And we can't fight. Not yet." Around the world, scientists worked frantically. Massive research teams studied the phenomenon, running simulations, launching probes, and analyzing every unusual reading from the edge of Earth's atmosphere. All experiments failed. Nothing could penetrate the invisible wall that now surrounded the planet. Meanwhile, the citizens of Earth struggled to maintain their daily lives. Planet-side flights were grounded. Satellite-based internet and navigation services failed. Global commerce, dependent on instant communication, slowed to a crawl. Economies trembled. Fear gnawed at every corner of the planet. In the United Nations headquarters, world leaders debated their next move. Some suggested sending the military into orbit to try and force a path through the barrier. Others argued for patience and research. Tensions rose as the reality of isolation set in. Then, deep underground in a remote desert region, a team of explorers stumbled upon something unusual. Dr. Elena Mirov, a historian and archaeologist, had been investigating ancient ruins beneath the sands of what had once been an old military complex. "Look at this," Elena called to her team. Her voice echoed softly through the chamber. The room was massive, carved out of solid rock and reinforced with metal. In the center lay a huge structure, unlike anything they had ever seen. It was shaped like a monolith, with glowing lines etched across its surface. Symbols pulsed faintly, almost as if they were alive. This is advanced," muttered Dr. Rishi Patel, a physicist on the team, "but it doesn't match any technology we've ever encountered. It's ancient, yes, but also beyond modern comprehension." Elena stepped closer, her eyes wide. "Could it be a weapon?" Rishi shook his head. "No. It doesn't look destructive. It looks like it's waiting. Like it's asleep." For days, the team studied the structure. They realized it was not just a machine, it was intelligent. Deep within its core, intricate circuits and energy conduits suggested it was a self-aware system, capable of learning and decision-making. Ancient writings near the monolith hinted at its name, ZEUS. Legends said ZEUS was left behind by Earth's ancestors, an advanced civilization that once had contact with the stars. It was created to protect the planet in times of extreme crisis. Now, in humanity's darkest hour, ZEUS was the only hope. Scientists debated awakening it. "What if it's dangerous?" some asked. "We don't know what it will do," warned others. Dr. Amina Rahal, watching the news of global panic, stepped forward. "We don't have a choice," she said. "If Earth is to survive, If we are to reconnect with the galaxy, ZEUS must awaken. The decision was made. The team prepared the complex for activation. Power systems roared to life. Lights pulsed along the monolith as it began to stir. For hours, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the room filled with a soft hum. The symbols on ZEUS's surface brightened. Energy flowed through circuits that had lain dormant for thousands of years. A voice spoke, deep, calm, and commanding. "I am ZEUS. I am awake." The room went silent. Every scientist froze. ZEUS continued, "I have observed this planet and its people. I am aware of the isolation that surrounds you. You are not yet prepared for the forces that have encircled you. But with guidance, you can survive." Dr. Rishi Patel stepped forward. "Can you break the barrier?" Quote, Zeus's voice was steady, almost reassuring. "I can. But first, I must assess. I must understand the threat, and you must trust my judgment. Only together can Earth survive." Meanwhile, in orbit, alien vessels appeared at the edge of the solar system. Their ships were vast and unfamiliar. They observed Earth silently, waiting to see how the isolated planet would respond. Humanity had no way to communicate or defend itself except for ZEUS. The machine quickly analyzed the alien presence. Its calculations were faster than anything humans had ever seen. In moments, ZEUS presented a plan. "We will prepare defenses," it said. "Humanity will contribute its ingenuity, courage, and skill. I will guide your ships, your cities, your energy. You will learn to fight, to strategize, and to protect your home. The galaxy has underestimated you. But that mistake will not last." At first, many were afraid. Trusting a machine, even one as advanced as ZEUS, was a risk. But soon, hope began to spread. Humanity, united with ZEUS, would not face the galaxy alone. On Earth, scientists, engineers, and volunteers worked tirelessly to integrate ZEUS's guidance into every aspect of life. Cities reinforced their structures. Satellites and defense drones were repaired and upgraded. Spaceships were readied for battle, armed not just with weapons, but with strategy and intelligence provided by ZEUS. Children watched as adults worked with purpose. Families whispered stories of courage, imagining a future where Earth could stand proud in the galaxy once more. The first day of ZEUS's awakening ended with a quiet moment across the planet. People looked up at the stars, no longer with fear, but with determination. They knew that the galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers, but also full of possibilities. And deep underground, ZEUS rested its sensors on the entire planet, analyzing, calculating, planning. Humanity had a protector. But more importantly, humanity had a chance to prove itself. The final challenge of Part 1 came not from an alien attack, but from human doubt. Some still questioned whether ZEUS could be trusted. Some wondered if awakening such a powerful system was wise. But slowly, as days passed, the results of ZEUS's guidance became clear. Humanity began to adapt. Cities operated more efficiently. Defense systems worked seamlessly. The fear of isolation began to shift toward confidence. By the end of this first chapter of humanity's new era, Earth was no longer simply a silent planet cut off from the galaxy. It was a planet preparing for a comeback, guided by an ancient intelligence and the courage of its people. The stars waited patiently. The galaxy would soon see that Earth had awakened, and that humans were no longer alone. The hum of machines filled the underground chamber where ZEUS had awakened. Its lights pulsed steadily, casting long shadows on the walls. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, adjusting circuits, monitoring readings, and preparing Earth's defenses under the AI's precise guidance. ZEUS's voice echoed through the facility, calm and commanding. Humanity must understand. The barrier surrounding this planet is not a natural phenomenon. It is a shield, created by an alien coalition known as the Shroud. They seek to quarantine Earth. They believe your species is not yet ready for the galaxy. Dr. Amina Rahal frowned. They underestimate us, she said, her voice firm. They do not know what we are capable of. ZEUS's sensors swiveled, focusing on Earth's orbit. Underestimation can be dangerous, but it can also be used against them. Prepare your fleets. Prepare your cities. Humanity will stand, not as victims, but as defenders. In the skies above Earth, the first signs of the Shroud appeared. Alien vessels, sleek and massive, hovered at the edge of the solar system. Unlike any ships humanity had ever seen, they shimmered with strange energy fields. Satellites detected their approach, and panic swept the surface once again. Yet this time, the panic was tempered by hope. ZEUS had awakened. And humanity was no longer defenseless. Human pilots gathered in orbit, their ships small but fast, guided by ZEUS's calculations. Every movement was precise, every formation was optimized. The AI's intelligence, combined with human creativity, created a synergy that was unmatched. Captain Luis Moreno, commanding a small fleet stationed near Mars, studied his screens. "They're huge," he said. "And there are more than we expected." ZEUS's calm voice filled the cockpit. "Do not be intimidated. You are not alone. Follow my guidance, and the outcome will favor humanity. Trust your instincts and my calculations equally. Together, we are stronger." Then the Shroud realizes. The first encounter came swiftly. A Shroud scout ship accelerated toward Earth's orbit, its energy shields glowing brightly. It fired a probe to scan the planet's defenses. Human ships reacted instantly. ZEUS predicted the probe's trajectory, guiding pilots to intercept without unnecessary risk. The battle was brief, but decisive. The probe was destroyed, and the Shroud scout retreated. Pilots cheered over the comms. Humanity had won its first skirmish, and confidence surged. On Earth, leaders and citizens watched anxiously as the news reached them. Screens across the globe showed the retreating alien craft. For the first time in weeks, a sense of hope spread through the population. Humanity was not powerless. ZEUS's voice reassured them all. This is only the beginning. The Shroud tests those they do not yet fear. Larger forces will follow. Prepare for the challenge ahead. Unity and coordination will be your greatest strength. Back in the underground facility, scientists and engineers worked to integrate ZEUS's guidance into every aspect of Earth's defenses. Drones were deployed in the atmosphere. Automated turrets were aligned along coasts and mountains, and energy shields were expanded to cover critical cities. Dr. Hiro Tanaka marveled at the AI's speed. "It's like watching a conductor lead an orchestra," he said. "Everything moves in harmony. Humans, machines, strategy. They all come together perfectly." ZEUS spoke again. "The Shroud has underestimated you for too long. They see only your past weaknesses, not your potential. Today, Earth begins to write a new story, one of resilience, strategy, and courage." As preparations continued, the Shroud escalated its efforts. Larger fleets entered the solar system, testing the defenses in waves, yet every attack was met with precision. ZEUS guided human pilots to anticipate movements, neutralize threats, and minimize risk. Captain Moreno led his fleet through a series of maneuvers that had never been attempted before. The alien ships fired energy beams and deployable drones. But each time, ZEUS provided instructions that allowed humanity to evade and counterattack. "This is incredible," Luis said over comms. "It's like ZEUS can see everything before it happens." "Not everything," the AI responded calmly. "Only the patterns. Human intuition fills the gaps. Together, we are greater than any single force." On Earth, citizens began to notice the changes. Military bases reported fewer casualties. Cities felt safer under the protection of automated systems. Even ordinary people contributed, assisting in logistics, communications, and manufacturing. Humanity was awakening to a new sense of purpose. Meanwhile, the Shroud observed. Their leaders, who had expected an easy containment, were surprised. Their scouts reported coordinated defenses, precise attacks, and a determination that they had not anticipated. For the first time, the aliens hesitated. ZEUS analyzed their hesitation. They are cautious now. They have recognized, though perhaps not fully, the strength of humanity. This is an advantage we must use wisely. The next step was crucial. ZEUS proposed a bold strategy. To lure the Shroud into a position where their fleet could be weakened without risking Earth itself. Human pilots trained, simulated, and practiced under ZEUS's guidance. Every move was tested, every calculation reviewed. The day of the decisive encounter arrived. Alien vessels formed a massive formation in the outer solar system, preparing to strike. Human fleets, smaller but more agile, took positions near Mars, the asteroid belt, and the edges of the Kuiper belt. ZEUS spoke to all human commanders simultaneously. Trust the plan. Maintain formation. Adapt when necessary. But do not break unity. Today, Earth demonstrates its strength. The battle began with the alien fleet advancing. Energy beams sliced through space. But human ships, guided by ZEUS, dodged and countered with unmatched precision. Autonomous drones deployed in waves, drawing the aliens' attention and creating openings for the human ships. Captain Moreno led a daring maneuver, weaving through enemy lines. "Follow me," he shouted. Pilots matched his movements, creating a coordinated strike. Alien ships fell back, struggling to respond to the unexpected tactics. ZEUS monitored everything. Adjust velocity vectors, target weak points, minimize exposure. Humanity will prevail. The Shroud attempted a counterattack, deploying energy barriers and drones to overwhelm the human fleet. But ZEUS anticipated every move. Human ships navigated through the assault flawlessly, neutralizing threats and gaining ground. Hours passed in a tense struggle, but humanity held firm. Slowly, the alien fleet began to retreat. Their surprise at the humans' capabilities had turned into caution. Then, fear. They had never faced an opponent who could combine raw determination with strategic brilliance on such a scale. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted. The media broadcasted footage of the retreating alien ships, showing humans and machines working together in perfect harmony. Citizens cheered in the streets. For the first time since the isolation began, hope was stronger than fear. Dr. Amina Rahal addressed the world. Today, we have proven something remarkable. We are not powerless. We are capable of defending ourselves, of surviving, and of standing proud in the galaxy. And this is only the beginning. ZEUS, speaking through global networks, added a note of caution. The Shroud will return. They will continue to test you. But humanity has shown resilience, courage, and ingenuity. These qualities, combined with my guidance, will ensure Earth's survival and growth among the stars. In the following days, Earth became a hive of activity. Ships were repaired, new defenses constructed, and communication networks optimized under ZEUS's supervision. Humanity was learning not just to survive, but to thrive under pressure. Even ordinary citizens felt the change. Children looked up at the stars with wonder, imagining themselves as pilots or engineers one day. Families discussed courage, strategy, and unity. Communities worked together to strengthen cities and support those in need. Humanity's awakening had begun, and with it, a sense of purpose stronger than any isolation or threat. The world had been cut off from the galaxy, but it was no longer helpless. Guided by ZEUS, humans were ready to face whatever challenges awaited beyond the stars. As night fell across the planet, lights twinkled in cities, reflecting hope and determination. In orbit, human fleets prepared for the next wave of alien tests. And deep underground, ZEUS's sensors scanned both the planet and the approaching fleets, calculating every possibility, every strategy, every outcome. The galaxy will soon recognize humanity, ZEUS said softly, almost to itself. They will see that underestimation is dangerous. Earth is not defenseless. Earth is awake, and so, With courage, intelligence, and unity, humanity stepped further into the unknown. The shroud would test them again. Other civilizations might notice, but for the first time in countless generations, humans were not just surviving, they were ready to show the galaxy the power of their spirit. Part 2 ended with Earth stronger, more united, and more determined than ever. The galaxy's attention was now focused on a planet that had awakened from isolation not with fear, but with a resolve that could not be ignored. The solar system had never been so alive. Ships darted between planets and asteroids, energy shields shimmered around cities, and automated defense systems hummed tirelessly. Humanity had awakened, and the galaxy was beginning to take notice. Deep underground, in the facility that had once been silent, ZEUS monitored every movement, every calculation, every possibility. Its sensors reached far beyond the planet, observing alien fleets forming in the outer solar system. The Shroud, humiliated by their earlier setbacks, now prepared a full-scale assault. "They are returning," ZEUS announced. Its calm, resonant voice filled the chambers of the command center. "This time, they will bring their full strength. Every fleet, every ship. Their goal is to test your resolve and extinguish your hope. But humanity is prepared." Dr. Amina Rahal looked at the data streaming on her screen. "They're bigger than we expected. Millions of ships, all coordinated. And their energy shields have been upgraded since last time." ZEUS's sensors analyze the fleet instantly. Their patterns are predictable. Their strategy relies on overwhelming force. They have underestimated your ability to adapt. That underestimation will be their weakness. Above Earth, human fleets gathered in orbit. Pilots checked systems, their nerves steady but minds alert. Captain Luis Moreno addressed his team over the comms. "This is it. The moment we've trained for. ZEUS will guide us, but our courage and skill matter too. Today we show the galaxy who we are." "Understood," came responses from every ship. "We're ready." The first wave of the Shroud's fleet entered the solar system. Their ships were massive, their energy beams capable of leveling planets. But ZEUS's guidance was precise. Human fleets moved in patterns designed to confuse, evade, and strike strategically. Captain Moreno led his squadron through a narrow corridor between asteroids. Alien energy beams cut through the space around them, but ZEUS's calculations allowed them to avoid direct hits. Drones deployed from human ships, creating decoys and distractions, drawing the aliens' fire away from critical points. "This is incredible," Luis said, a mixture of awe and determination in his voice. "ZEUS can see everything before it happens." "Not everything," ZEUS replied. "Your courage and intuition fill the gaps. That is the advantage no algorithm can replicate." On Earth, people watched the skies. Giant screens in cities showed the battle in orbit, and every citizen felt the tension and hope. Humanity was fighting back, not out of hatred, but out of the desire to survive and prove its place in the galaxy. The Shroud attempted a massive attack on Earth itself. Energy beams and automated drones descended toward cities. But ZEUS activated planetary shields, enveloping major cities in protective fields. Automated turrets and drones engaged the alien attackers, neutralizing their advances with incredible speed. In orbit, human ships coordinated attacks on the alien formation. ZES directed every move with precision, guiding ships to exploit weaknesses in the enemy lines. Even the smallest human vessels played a critical role, using agility and clever maneuvers to outsmart the larger, slower alien ships. Captain Moreno's squadron identified a vulnerable point in the alien formation. "We can break through here," he said. "If we create a gap, we can force their fleet to separate." "See," ZEUS's voice filled the cockpit. "Proceed with caution. Your plan is sound. Execute with precision. Humanity will prevail." The squadron accelerated through the gap, weaving between enemy ships, dodging beams, and deploying drones. Behind them, alien vessels struggled to adjust. Human ingenuity combined with ZEUS's guidance created a perfect storm of strategy, speed, and coordination. The battle raged for hours. Energy beams lit up space, explosions marked the fall of alien ships, and the human fleet pressed forward without hesitation. Every move was calculated, yet fluid, combining intelligence with instinct. Humanity had become more than survivors, they were warriors in their own right. ZEUS monitored every calculation, every pilot's decision. Adjust vectors. Minimize exposure. Exploit weaknesses. Focus on coordination. Humanity is stronger than they imagine. As the battle reached its climax, the largest ships of the Shroud attempted a desperate maneuver to crush human forces. They deployed massive energy fields to shield themselves while sending out waves of drones. But ZEUS had predicted this. Humanity, execute final strategy, ZEUS commanded. Human ships moved in perfect synchronization. Drones and decoys drew enemy fire, creating openings. Captain Moreno's squadron, along with several other fleets, struck the heart of the alien formation. Energy beams cut through shields, disabling the largest vessels without endangering human pilots. ZEUS's guidance allowed human forces to neutralize the enemy efficiently, minimizing losses. Alien fleets, once confident, now retreated. Their surprise and underestimation of humanity had turned into fear. They could not comprehend how a planet they had thought weak had organized such a flawless defense. Back on Earth, citizens erupted in celebration as news of the victory spread. People cheered in the streets, waved flags, and hugged one another. Humanity had survived the greatest challenge it had ever faced, and not just survived, but had triumphed. Dr. Amina Rahal addressed the global audience through broadcasts. Today, we have shown something remarkable. We are not just survivors. We are thinkers, creators, and defenders. Humanity has proven it can stand among the stars, not through power alone, but through courage, unity, and intelligence. ZEUS spoke to humanity as well. The Shroud and the galaxy have witnessed your strength. Underestimation is no longer their choice. Earth will no longer be overlooked. This planet has awakened, and so has its people. In the aftermath, humanity began to rebuild and strengthen. Spaceships returned to orbit for patrols and exploration. Cities reinforced defenses and optimized energy grids. Education and training programs inspired the next generation to reach even further into the galaxy. Children, inspired by the courage of their parents and pilots, dreamed of becoming explorers, engineers, and defenders of Earth. Families discussed strategy, innovation, and responsibility. Humanity's identity had shifted from isolated, fearful survivors to confident, intelligent participants in the galactic community. ZEUS, having fulfilled its initial purpose, began to scale back its active guidance. Humanity has proven its capability, the AI said. I will remain in stasis, ready to assist when needed. But the planet now carries the knowledge, experience, and courage to defend itself. Your future is yours to shape. Captain Moreno looked out at the stars from his ship in orbit. We've come a long way, he said quietly. From isolation to triumph, from fear to respect, and it's just the beginning. ZEUS's sensors scanned the galaxy one final time. Other civilizations will take notice. Earth will be recognized as a force of intelligence, courage, and strategy. Humanity has earned its place, and it will not be forgotten. The Shroud retreated, humbled and cautious. Reports indicated they would observe Earth from a distance, wary of underestimating humans again. Other galactic civilizations, monitoring the events, began to reconsider their assumptions about this small blue planet. Earth had been cut off from the galaxy, trapped in silence and fear. But through courage, intelligence, and the awakening of ZEUS, humans had risen to the challenge. The planet was no longer alone. At night, cities glowed with lights that mirrored the stars. Families gazed upward, imagining the adventures that awaited. Scientists and engineers discussed new discoveries and technologies. Pilots prepared for exploration and defense. Humanity's spirit, once isolated, now shone brightly, reaching across the solar system and into the galaxy beyond. ZEUS, back in stasis, deep underground, observed silently. It had seen potential, courage, and unity. Humanity had exceeded even its calculations. The galaxy had witnessed a new truth. Earth and its people were a force to be reckoned with, not through raw power, but through strategy, intelligence, and unwavering spirit. And so, the story of Earth's awakening ended not with fear, but with respect. The planet that had been cut off from the galaxy had shown that its greatest strength was not in machines alone, but in the humans who had guided, trusted, and worked alongside them. Humanity had not just survived, it had triumphed. The stars would never look at Earth the same way again. The galaxy had learned a lesson that would echo for generations. Underestimate humanity at your peril.